Welcome to the Winning Edge Investments Podcast. Winning Edge Investments provides industry-leading horse racing and sports betting tips, ratings and education, enabling you to invest intelligently and treat your betting like a business. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com to learn more about how you can start to supercharge your betting bank immediately. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.
Thanks to Winning Edge Investments, winningedgeinvestments.com. Tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports. Dean Evans joins us. Good morning, Dino.
Good morning, Gareth. How are you going?
Good, thank you, mate. Great day last Saturday. Autumn Boy and Aliana were good to us, but we've got 3 Group 1s coming up on Saturday, 2 at Rosehill and 1 at Flemington. You've got your own horse, Vauban, engaged, of course, in the Group 1 there at Rosehill, taking on horses like Dubai Honour and Aliana in that feature event. And we'll preview the Tancred Stakes first of all. Aliana's at $1.85, Dubai Honour at $3.80. We had William Haggis on this morning. He's confident his old boy will run a big race come tomorrow afternoon. And then you've got Vauban at $6, Soul of Spain at $13, Dino.
Yeah, look, a slow speed here on the map, which is really going to suit Vauban. I think the only time he's sort of been undone in Australia is when he's been on the speed on those really hotly run races. But he's going to get a really nice trail, I think, behind River of Stars, or he might even sit outside River of Stars. I think what's interesting, Aliana and Dubai Honour, they're both drawn the outside gates. So, you know, on the map, it's a little bit tricky if a horse like Piggyback kicks up, whether Aliana and Dubai Honour either, you know, get stuck wide, no cover, or, you know, whether they have to get hooked back. You know, Vauban, I still think, should have beaten Dubai Honour in this race last year. He was held up at a critical stage. He had the better closing sectionals. You draw a line with Aliana. Last year, Vauban beat Lindermann by 1.3 lengths over 2,000 metres, winning the Sky High, and Aliana only beat Lindermann by 0.3 of a length last week. And then Vauban's win this year in the Sky High over 2,000, actually rated about 1.5 lengths better than his win last year, and actually rated as his best run in Australia so far. So, you know, I think Vauban's actually peaking and getting better. Dubai Honour, last year he came into this race off a really hot second and a very strong, you know, $6 million Group 1 in Hong Kong, and he comes into it this year off a second in a $100,000 listed race in the UK. So, you know, just whether he's coming here quite in the same form as last year is a bit of a question mark. I think Vauban actually lines up really well against Aliana with the Lindermann comparison, the soft tempo and the wet track. I think all going to help Vauban. I actually genuinely think he's probably the value in this race.
Okay, so Vauban each way all day, $6 with Bet 365. And then we go to the other weight for age race for the open class gallopers. And this one's over the 2,000 metres. It's the time-honoured Australian Cup at Flemington. Birdman's at $3.40, Tom Kitten at $5, Pride of Jenny at $5. And then we go to Like a Lucy at $6, Apulia at $11, Sabarge at $11, Light Infantryman, the defending champ, at $17, and then Mark Twain. He was given a good push yesterday by Tommy Stokes. He was $61. Straight away he went into $51 and then went to $41. And this morning he's into $34 here, Dean.
Yeah, look, it's only been the last 3 years that the All-Star Mile's been run before the Australian Cup. And in all those 3 years, the winner of the Australian Cup, you know, not only ran the All-Star Mile, but generally had one of the quickest closing sectionals. He had Cascadian for 2 years in a row, and then Light Infantryman last year. They all ran placings in the All-Star Mile before winning the Australian Cup. It's always a hot form race, the All-Star Mile. Before that, it was positioned before the Doncaster, and the Doncaster trifecta seemed to always come from horses in the All-Star Mile. So, and it was a strong addition this year in quick time. And then you got Birdman, who's the favourite. He won the Peter Young last week, but the last horse to do the double was Fioronte 12 years ago. And since then, the Peter Young winners have, I think, only one's run a place in about the last 11 years, so they've got an awful record. So, and I think Tom Kitten, he won the All-Star Mile last start. He's won over Group 1 over 2,000, recent placings, and, you know, some of the biggest Group 1 2,000 metre races we have in Australia. I think he's clearly the one to beat. And then, you know, Like a Lucy had the best closing sectionals of the All-Star Mile when coming from the back for 6. She hasn't run for 2,000 yet for Chris Waller, but she won over that distance a couple of times at Group 2 level in New Zealand, won the Oaks over 2,400. I think she's going to really eat up the 2,000. And a big positive jockey change with Damien Lane aboard as well. I think the fast early speed with Pride of Jenny and Co is going to really suit both Tom Kitten and Like a Lucy, and leaning towards Tom Kitten just because the only mare to have won in the last 14 years is Due, but I'm quite keen here on the All-Star Mile form, so Tom Kitten the one to beat, and Like a Lucy I think the big danger.
And in the Vinery Stud Stakes, the Kiwi fillies are the intriguing horses here. I Hope A wins at 270 with Bet365. You can boost that to 280. Salty Pearl, the Victorian, at 380. And then Belle Chevelle, who's got the well-written form. And I still watched that replay there last night. I still can't believe she didn't win. It looks like she nabbed well-written right on the line there in that Kiwi. And she's at $4. Panova, is she the forgotten horse at $6, and then double figures for the rest, led by Long Legs at $12.
Yeah, I was actually at Ellerslie that day, and I was close to the finish line, and I backed Belle Chevelle, and I really did think it had won as well. But look, I do think the race is down to these two, really superstar Kiwi fillies. I Hope wins. It's having a seventh run of the prep here. It's her first prep still. She's drawn the outside gate, and some of these New Zealand fillies like a Lucy's and others who've come over for Waller in recent years haven't actually performed to expectations in their first run. And you compare to Belle Chevelle, who's sort of fourth up, just had a lighter prep. That well-written form is absolute A grade. She races like the 2,000 measles suit. She's by Savabeel, drawn to get just a lovely run in barrier 2. And I think a sprint, could prove really devastating for this field. I don't think there's going to be a strong tempo. I think a really strong tempo would suit I Hope wins. But again, a bit like Autumn Boy and Observer last week, where I said, if it's run at a steady tempo, then Autumn Boy will just have the better sprint. It's similar here. I think I think Belle Chevelle has got the strongest sprint out of all of them, and as long as it's an averagely run sort of race, which I think it will be with Long Legs leading. I think Belle Chevelle's got the strongest sprint, and I think she can upset I Hope wins.
Well, it's exciting times. I think most of the mail that I'm getting out of New Zealand, they agree with you there. They reckon Belle Chevelle can defeat I Hope A wins there in the Vinery on Saturday. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a great day's racing. Vauban, mate, we wish you the best of luck there, and hopefully you can get your first Group 1 with him in this country. Yeah,
thanks, mate. That'd be great, and good luck to our member Alex, who won our competition from last week.
Okay, well done, Alex.
1% share in Vauban for the $1.5 million race, and he's going to be cheering him home as hard as we are.
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody's as confident as you. You've given me confidence to have something each way on Vauban, so good luck to you, good luck to Alex, and we appreciate your time here on Giddy Up as always, mate.
Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate it, mate.
There's Dean Evans from winningedgeinvestments.com. Tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports. At Winning Edge Investments, our team of highly skilled expert analysts and full-time professional punters review the data, crunch the figures, assess the best betting opportunities and deliver them to your phone via our app and your email inbox in real time so you profit. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com. Look at our membership options, make your choice and enter the promo code PODCAST to receive a special 25% discount on your first membership just for listening. That's PODCAST in capital letters for a 25% ongoing discount on your first membership. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.